A billionaire's daughter storms into Judge Caprio's courtroom dripping arrogance. Moments later, she unleashes a vicious insult, "Shut up, old pig," audible enough to freeze the entire room. But Caprio's calm, razor-sharp response slices through her privilege, flipping the power dynamic and setting the stage for a jaw-dropping punishment no one saw coming. The courtroom buzzed the way it always did on chaotic mornings, rustling papers, shuffling feet, murmured excuses, nervous breaths. Judge Frank Caprio adjusted his glasses, reading through the next case, unaware that the most volatile defendant of the day was already marching through the back door like she owned the place. Her heels clapped aggressively against the tile. Heads turned. A girl, no older than 20, strode forward wrapped in designer fabric worth more than most people's monthly salaries. Perfect hair, flawless makeup, a phone clutched like a weapon. She didn't walk, she paraded. Her name on the docket, Alexandra Pierce. Daughter of Richard Pierce, the billionaire real estate titan whose name appeared on skyscrapers, charity plaques, and headlines. She took her seat with the ease of someone who believed consequences were for other people. Judge Caprio cleared his throat. "Miss Alexandra Pierce, please step forward." She didn't move. He repeated, firmer, "Miss Pierce." She dragged her chair back with a dramatic screech, sighed like she was being forced into manual labor, and finally approached the bench with a bored expression. Her attorney wasn't with her. She had dismissed him outside, saying she didn't need a babysitter. Caprio eyed her file. "You are charged with reckless driving, endangering pedestrians, ignoring traffic signals, and verbally assaulting an officer." Her lip curled. "Yeah, whatever he said." A wave of surprise rippled across the room. Caprio lifted an eyebrow. "Would you like to explain your side?" She scoffed. "My side? Please. I was late for a meeting. A real meeting. Not this." She gestured around the courtroom like it smelled bad. Caprio remained calm. "Miss Pierce, this is a courtroom, not an inconvenience. The charges." She cut him off. "Oh my God, can we skip to the fine? My dad pays these all the time." Gasps. Caprio leaned back slowly. His tone cooled. "This is not a drive-through window." She smirked. "Could have fooled me." Officer Morales stepped forward, holding the incident report. "Your Honor, when I approached her vehicle, she almost hit 2 pedestrians. I asked for her license, and she..." Alexandra exploded. "I told you to get out of my face. You were blocking my car like some street cop with a hero complex." Morales stiffened. "You threw your drink at me, Miss Pierce." She shrugged. "It was iced coffee. Relax." Caprio folded his hands. "Miss Pierce, please lower your voice." She rolled her eyes dramatically, whispering under her breath, but loud enough for the courtroom to hear. "Shut up, old pig." Everything stopped. Even the ceiling fan seemed to go silent. Caprio's eyes lifted slowly. Not angry. Not shocked. Just piercingly calm. "Miss Pierce," he said softly, "would you repeat what you just said?" The girl realized what she'd done, but instead of backing down, she straightened her shoulders. "I said you're being an old pig about this." Her arrogance radiated through the room. Caprio closed the file gently, the quiet sound somehow louder than a gavel strike. "Miss Pierce," he said, voice like steel wrapped in velvet, "today, you will learn something your father's money has never taught you." She smirked, arms crossed. "Please. Just give me the fine." Caprio shook his head. "There will be no fine today." Confusion flickered across her face. "What?" "No fine," Caprio repeated. "Your crimes and your attitude require a different approach." She blinked, thrown off balance. Caprio continued, "This court does not punish with money. It teaches responsibility." Alexandra snorted. "What are you gonna do? Make me write an apology letter?" Caprio stood up. "No, Miss Pierce. I'm placing you under a special review hearing. A hearing that will determine whether your behavior was a moment of immaturity or a pattern of privileged recklessness. A murmur swept through the gallery. This was unusual. Alexandra's smile vanished. Wait. What does that mean? It means, Caprio said, you are not leaving today with a simple penalty. We will dig into every detail of your conduct, your actions, your treatment of law enforcement, your level of remorse, and whether you understand the gravity of your choices. She swallowed hard. Caprio continued, court will take a recess for 10 minutes. Miss Pierce, you will remain in this room. He struck the gavel. She stepped back, shaken. For the first time all morning, her mask of superiority cracked. Because she realized something terrifying. Judge Caprio wasn't intimidated by her father, her money, or her insults. And for the first time in her privileged life, Alexandra Pierce felt the weight of real consequences looming behind her. When the recess ended, Alexandra stood rigid at the defendant's table, hands clasped so tightly her knuckles whitened. She had tried to call her father during the break, no answer. She tried again, straight to voicemail. The safety net she always counted on suddenly felt fragile. Judge Caprio returned, carrying a thin folder. He sat, adjusted his glasses, and opened it with deliberate slowness. Miss Pierce, he began, during our recess, I requested additional information regarding your driving history. Her jaw tensed. Seriously? That's unnecessary. Caprio ignored her, reading aloud. 2 years ago, a reckless speeding citation dismissed due to insufficient evidence. Last year, failure to yield. Warning only. 3 parking violations, all paid immediately. And last month, he paused. A confrontation with a valet attendant. Alexandra froze. Caprio looked up. You told the valet, and I quote, people like you should be grateful I even let you touch my car. The courtroom murmured. That's exaggerated, she muttered. I have the written statement from the valet, Caprio responded. Her chest tightened. This isn't fair. Why are you digging into my past? Because, Caprio said, patterns tell the truth that excuses try to hide. Officer Morales approached the witness stand. Caprio nodded. Officer, please recount the events again. Morales spoke clearly. When I saw the defendant's vehicle, she ran a red light and nearly struck 2 pedestrians. I sounded the siren. She accelerated. After I stopped her, she refused to hand over her license and threw her drink at me. Alexandra snapped. I didn't throw it, it slipped. Caprio's gaze hardened. Miss Pierce, let the officer finish. Morales continued, she then told me, you can't do anything to me. My father pays your salary. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Alexandra covered her face. That's out of context. Caprio raised a hand, silencing her. His voice was cool as winter steel. Miss Pierce, every time you speak, you confirm exactly what this court is concerned about. Her breath shook. I'm not a bad person. No one is born bad, Caprio said gently. But privilege can blind a person to the damage they cause. He flipped the page. Now, Miss Pierce, I've also received footage from the street camera. Footage. Her heartbeat hammered. She hadn't known there was a camera. Caprio turned the screen toward her. The courtroom leaned forward as the video played. There she was, speeding. Ignoring the red light. 2 pedestrians jumping back in fear. She didn't even look at them. The video zoomed in as she brushed past a stroller. The mother screamed. A collective gasp swept the room. Caprio stopped the video. Miss Pierce, you came within inches of killing a child. Her hand flew to her mouth. No, I didn't see. That is the problem, Caprio said. You do not see anyone but yourself. Tears pricked the corners of her eyes but didn't fall. She refused to let them. I didn't mean, her voice trailed. Caprio leaned forward. Intent does not erase harm. Nor disrespect. She looked at the floor, shaken to her core. But Caprio wasn't finished. "Officer Morales," Caprio said, "please step aside. I would like to call a surprise witness." Whispers erupted. A woman stood slowly from the gallery. The mother from the video. She clutched a diaper bag, hands trembling as she approached. Alexandra's face drained of color. "Miss Lauren Hayes," Caprio said, "please tell us what you experienced." Lauren's voice cracked. "I was pushing my daughter's stroller across the street when this car came flying. I grabbed the stroller and jumped back. If I were 1 second slower," her voice broke. "I don't want to think about what would have happened." Alexandra felt tears burning now, real ones. "I didn't know," she whispered. Lauren looked straight at her. "You didn't look. You didn't care." The room felt colder. Alexandra felt her breath tightening. Caprio spoke softly but powerfully. "Miss Pierce, this is no longer about traffic violations. This is about the value of human life. The value you dismissed." Alexandra inhaled shakily. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Caprio shook his head. "Not yet. You're not." He leaned back. "This hearing is not over. In part 3 of this proceeding, I will deliver a verdict based on everything we have heard, and on whether you can demonstrate genuine accountability." Her hands trembled. For the first time in her life, Alexandra Pierce was terrified of a world her father couldn't control. When the courtroom reconvened, Alexandra stood with a trembling stillness. The arrogance was gone. Her makeup smudged. Her voice quiet. The weight of near tragedy pressed down like judgment itself. Judge Caprio took a long moment before speaking. "Miss Pierce, before I issue a sentence, you may speak." She stepped forward, voice cracking. "I'm sorry, truly. Not because I'm scared. Because I could have killed someone. I didn't see the pedestrians. I didn't care about the officer. I insulted you. I thought money fixed everything." A tear finally slid down. "I was wrong." Caprio nodded gently. "Thank you. But remorse must be more than words." He stood. "Miss Pierce, this court has 4 priorities: accountability, public safety, rehabilitation, and education." She braced herself. "Sentence time." Caprio continued. "First, reckless driving, endangerment, and evading an officer would normally result in heavy fines and license suspension." She exhaled shakily. "But in your case," Caprio added, "money is not a consequence. Money is insulation." Her breath caught. "So instead," he said, voice tightening, "I am imposing a sentence designed to pierce that insulation." The courtroom leaned forward. "Miss Pierce, you are hereby sentenced to 200 hours of mandatory community service, specifically at the Children's Trauma Rehabilitation Center, working with children injured in accidents caused by reckless driving." Alexandra's mouth fell open. Caprio continued. "Second, your license is suspended for 1 full year." She swallowed hard. "Third," Caprio said, "you will attend a 12-week behavioral accountability program focused on privilege responsibility." She blinked rapidly, trying to process. "And fourth," Caprio said, voice deepening, "you will write a formal apology to Officer Morales, to Miss Hayes, and to this courtroom for your verbal assault." She nodded, shaking. "But Your Honor," she whispered. "Why so harsh?" Caprio stepped forward, eyes gentle yet firm. "Because, Alexandra, your words, 'Shut up, old pig,' were not just disrespect. They were a window into your worldview. A worldview dangerous when paired with a 2-ton vehicle and unchecked entitlement." A wave of silence swept the room. Caprio's voice dropped. "And finally, you will return to this courtroom after completing your service and explain, publicly, what you learned." Her breath broke. This was worse than jail. This was real transformation. Real consequence. He wasn't humiliating her, he was forcing her to grow. Alexandra whispered, "I understand." But Caprio wasn't done. "One more thing. She looked up nervously. You are required to spend 2 hours per week assisting traffic officers during community education events. Her eyes widened. With Officer Morales? Yes, Caprio said. Perhaps standing beside the people you once belittled will teach you humility better than any punishment. Officer Morales gave her a small nod, not cruel, but firm. Caprio lifted the gavel. Miss Pierce, let this moment be the one that wipes away arrogance, not your future. Sentence stated. He struck the gavel. Alexandra exhaled, shoulders collapsing. Her life wasn't ruined, but her ego was shattered. As she walked out, she paused, just once, and whispered, "Thank you, Your Honor." And for the first time, she meant it. If this shocking courtroom transformation gripped you from start to finish, make sure you subscribe for more intense real-life courtroom drama. Every episode brings new twists, emotional battles, and unforgettable justice. Hit the bell so you never miss Part 2, Part 3, or the next viral case. Stay tuned, more unbelievable stories are coming.